wasn't just me, it wasn't just Public Works. The best part about working with this job was the family, the fire department, the police department, the council. And sometimes I don't think y'all have a clue just how important y'all are in that. I thank y'all for the kind words every time we come up here and we go through the budget process, and y'all always give us props because we're working really, really hard, but y'all work really hard too. And I want to say thank you to each one of you councilmen. Y'all make it happen for us. It was probably a couple of years ago I started thinking about it was going to be time for me to pass the torch. I told Mayor Mark, he said, you need to start thinking about your successor. Who's going to do that? So we went on a look. We went looking. And I found a bunch of people, interviewed Jim O'Berry. Interview like I've never had before. When you walk out of an interview and you hear somebody and you see them and you know automatically, I don't want to interview anybody else. That was the feeling that I got. 22 years with St. Tammany Parish. Family man, as you can tell, all of the people that's back here supporting him right now. He lights up a room. But more than that, for the last year, over a year, after we hired him, he has been in the trenches, if you know what I mean. COVID, idle. Not one time did he tuck tail. He was right there in the mix, and you all have seen him. There was times to where there was things I was able to say, Jim, can you just handle this? Can you deal with the trees today? Can you deal with this today? He's done it. So we talk about confirmation. We talk about somebody that's fit for the job. He's been doing it for over a year and doing a damn good job at it. He made it possible for me to stand here today and say, okay, I can now pass the torch. I look at the city as, that's my baby. I mean, I've been working on it for 30 years, making sure that everything is right with the help of everybody in this room. I don't just pass that task on to anybody. I don't trust it to anybody, but I trust it to him because I've seen how he handles it already. So I just wanted to say today, thank y'all for my years. And I wanted to say that I stand with Jim O'Berry. If I had to pass the torch to anybody, it's Jim. So it's been awesome. I appreciate everything that y'all have done for me. And you're going to continually see this face in the city because I ain't just turning it over like that. I'll be around here. So thank you. And Jim, I'd like to say to you, thank you. Thank you.
Chris, before you sit down, I'm sure some of the council members would like to say a few words. So, anybody want to start?
Chris, I gotta say thank you. I mean, from every time I have any type of issue, I mean, y'all make me look good. I mean, that's the fact of it because it's based most of the time we hear from people and stuff like that, that when it involves you, it's not good. So when y'all come and y'all remedy the problem, I mean, it's no questions asked. It's done. It's taken care of, done professionally, and we have a lot of happy constituents because of that. I'd like to say thank you.
Councilman Lewis?
I just want to wish you luck, Chris. You know, I've known you many years before I was up here. So I wish you luck with retirement, well deserved, and I'm sure I'll be speaking to you in the future. Good luck.
Councilman Roberts?
Yeah, mine's easy. I get people calling me going, I can't believe you handled that fast. I mean, I didn't handle anything. Like, that's all you got. And so you and your crew made a statement to say, you know what's best for us, and I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Councilman Roberts?
I don't have a whole lot to say other than every time they made me look good, I took advantage of it and said, yeah, I'm pretty good. Hey, you're one of my best friends, man. Going to miss you. Going to see you more, though. All right?
Thank you.
Me and Mark are talking about moving up closer to that at the table. Echo everything. You know, we love you. Yeah, y'all always make us look good. And Jim's been doing a great job too. So thank you for your already stepping in that role. And Chris, I worked with you for the city before in a different capacity, and then now on the council, and you've always been extremely professional. And you can tell that the city is your baby, and we appreciate it because
humble because you have been a rock for this city and exemplified everything that someone in that position should be. As a person, you were always honest, you were straightforward. We can do it, we can't do it, and if we couldn't do it, why couldn't we do it? And I sincerely appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
So, thank you.
And Chris, before you leave, I wanted to hear what everybody said. Everybody's so on target, and you're such an asset to this community. I know the residents thank you very much, and I know they're not here tonight, or some of them might be here tonight. I know they thank you really, because I know they would go out there and greet you and talk to you, and they're gonna miss you for sure. And Mr. O'Berry, I know you up for the challenge, so we appreciate you, we appreciate both of y'all, and we look forward to the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I lived on North Avenue for 50 years. We've had many occasions where there were problems. Every time we had a problem, I went out the front door, there was Chris in his truck, sitting out front, taking care of business. So we thank you.
There you go. I'm glad a resident was here to talk to you about that. Thank you very much, sir. Now, Mayor, I think we're going to turn it over to you at this point. Okay.
Good evening. So I've worked my whole career in public service, 22 and a half years with St. Tammany Parish, working towards this. And I couldn't have done it without the people that believed in me and helped me along and gave me the will to move forward. So I'm up for the challenge. I'm looking forward to working with everybody and getting a lot done in the city.
Appreciate you very much. Okay, I think that's it. I don't think that, Mr. Rodriguez, there's no vote or anything like that. It's just there's no vote or anything like that, basically. Okay.
We are so excited to have you. We may not even vote.
Okay. Well, okay, so I just did not see it. I didn't see it on the agenda. Okay, so I just didn't see it as a flow. I apologize for that.
Can I ask one quick question before we vote? I've had the opportunity to meet you. I call you Jim. Our council clerk calls you James, and on the resolution it has Jim. What you want? Jim. Jim it is. I'd like to ask for a vote on Jim.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is I just need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Okay, a second. Roll call, please.
Councilman Botsford?
Yes.
Councilman Roberts?
Yes.
Councilwoman Ludwig?
Yes.
Councilman Verret?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilman Rowling?
Yes.
Councilman Lewis?
Congratulations again, sir. And it's nice to see a lot of family with smiling faces. Okay, we're going to move right on. Do you want to say any other words before we move forward? Okay. Thank you. I just want to make sure. Okay, we're going to move right on to our peers tonight. Yes, sir. Now you might need to stand on something, or if we could say it from there.
So, basically, at school things have been going perfect. Nothing's going wrong, no bullies going in front of me. I'm good.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. We appreciate those kind words. Okay, anyone else that would like to say something before we move on? Great job. Okay, we're going to move right on to our peers tonight. We have the Covington Concert Band, Mr. Eric Morales, and also Mr. Meredith Berry. Before they come up, and if you state your name, of course, when you come up to the podium, I know you're going to talk a little bit about the concert band and what you've done in the community maybe what the future looks like a little bit. One thing I do want to mention, I did, I think, attend 2 concerts, and y'all sound excellent. It's a great face for the community. I know there are people talking about it all on the North Shore, and we appreciate what you do every week, every month. Y'all practice every week, so we appreciate that very much. So if you want to come up, you have around 10 minutes or so.
Yes.
So if you would, thank you.
Well, thank you for letting me. My name is Eric Morales. I'm the musical director current of the Covington Concert Band. Today, basically, I just want to give you all an update, a progress report on where we've come within the last year. About a year ago, this council made a resolution to start this band for the community. Our starting membership at the time was, we expected to have 25 to 30. We would be really happy with that. But in fact, what happened was something that we did not expect during the time of COVID, and that was that we grew exponentially. Our starting membership was 43 when we had our first rehearsal, and we've been averaging about that number and higher at every rehearsal. Our current membership stands at 70 members, which is remarkable in that that ranks as one of the highest of this type of an organization in the United States. We have something really, really special here that I'd like to try and continue throughout the future for the city of Covington. We managed to perform 3 concerts this year. The first one being the inaugural concert, which was called Night at the Movies, where we presented a program of movie scores that everybody knows, and it was well received. And then, of course, Sparks in the Park. Sparks in the Park was a wonderfully attended event, and we filled that program with John Philip Sousa and all of the things that we love to hear on July 4th. And our last concert was entitled Fire, Fury, and Fun, where we presented a program that was filled with music, classical mostly, of fiery nature. And all of these performances were well attended, and the city of Covington, what I'd like for you to take from it is that no matter where we perform, whether it's here or somewhere else, we are always ambassadors of the city of Covington, and we make that known not only in our programs, but in our speaker, who also, our MC, Dr. Mark Pittman, who some of you might know, also makes it a point to say who we are and where we're from, which I think is very important. To this day, we've had 34 rehearsals. We rehearse in the Bogue-Flight Hall at the City Center, and we've had 34 rehearsals up to this point in this year 2021. After each concert, we average 9 added members. And that's just people hearing us, and they did this in high school, and they remembered how fun it was to be in band. We don't charge anybody to be in band, right, in this organization. It's totally not for profit, obviously, and it's a service to the community. But what I would like to also emphasize is that what we've done has not come without growing pains. And that is initially that we were supposed to be performing in the Furman Center. But at the number that we currently stand at, with 70 members, that's next to impossible because of the stage size. So now, what do? Do we tell members, hey, do we turn them away, we can't use you? I can't see that. This is not the type of a group that turns people away. It's a community organization. We invite everybody to come and participate. So, and with that, we have people from all walks of life. People are coming from Baton Rouge to be members of this group. People are coming from Metairie. So it's not just people from this local area. We're drawing in people from a lot of different places. And the product that we're putting out, as Mr. Rowling has told us, is pretty darn good. And we're really, really proud of what we've done. So going forward, all that we might ask of the council is to take all of these things into mind, and there's a handout that hopefully all of you have in front of you that shows pictures from what we've done throughout the year, and take all of this into account when it's time to review the budget, and we look forward to bringing a lot more culture and music to the city going forward. Thanks. And if Meredith, if you'd like to add anything.
I have just a couple things to say. When I formed this band, my original intent was for the firmament. I had no idea that we would grow as fast as we did. And as Eric said, every concert we do, we'll have 4 or 5 or 6 musicians show up who are all accomplished players that many play in other bands. And they said, man, we heard y'all, we want to be part of it. So we've just grown and grown and grown. So I'm working on, I know the mayor and the council would like for us to do everything within the city limits if possible. I'm currently working with Covington High to see if we might use their venue. It'll seat 700. The stage is larger. I think it can accommodate all of us. I have not gotten any final word back from them, but it's my understanding that it's left up to the school and not the school board. They're leaving the decisions to the individual principals and so forth. So I expect to hear from them soon, and I'll keep you appraised of what comes up. I did want to mention, when he mentioned us getting new members, we have no beginners in this band. Everybody has reasonably, I might be the least accomplished one in the whole band, but I have a spot. I think this is the closest thing Covington's ever been to having a professional band. And I can't even see in the future that they would have the opportunity again to have a band of this size and of this quality. So I hope you'll keep that in mind. We'll keep you up to date on the venue thing. Hopefully, if Covington High works out, that'd be satisfactory to the mayor and to the council that we could do. It's in the city limits and so forth, and can accommodate us at this stage. But we appreciate all of your consideration, and we thank you for this past year. It's really helped us to grow. I think the concerts have all been a big success. I've gotten so many calls and people who are just saying, man, y'all as good as the Philharmonic. I said, well, that might be stretching it a bit, but we're not far from that. So thank you very much.
We appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Councilman Rowling, just a point of clarification. Sure. I am not opposed to the band playing outside the city of Covington. I think it's just a wonderful ambassador for the city. That doesn't bother me, but I do feel like it does need at some point to play inside the city. And so it's just a clarification. It's not that I'm happy you played in Mandeville. I'd like to see you play in Slidell at the Harbor Center or in Hammond. Just love the idea. But we do have to, I feel like we need to have something in Covington.
Regarding that, going forward, a majority of the performances that we do will involve being within the city limits, in downtown if possible, to draw people into this downtown area. We would, however, like at times, should it arise, where we have the opportunity to go and be ambassadors for the city of Covington, whether it be in Mandeville or even in another state or another country, if it would ever get to that point. I would love to see it get to that point. In either case, we would always be ambassadors for the city of Covington because we are the Covington Concert Band. So, thank you.
We appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, we move right along to the consent calendar. First, we have the regular meeting minutes, October 5th, 2021. Also, we have the introduction of item number 2021-1101, an ordinance of the City of Covington amending the established and adopted Chapter 83, Fees, Article 3, Public Records Request Fees, Section 83-3, Schedule of Public Records Request Fees. Next, we have introduction of item number 2021-1102, an ordinance of the City of Covington declaring a certain portion of property to be outside of the division of St. John. Next, we have Introduction of item number 2021-1103, an ordinance of the City of Covington amending the Covington Code of Ordinances, Chapter 2, Administration, Article 4, Professional Services, Contract, Section 2-209, Section Review Panel, and Section 2-210, Section of the Community Panel, Representatives of Professional Services, Contracts other than legal services, to restructure the Selective Review Panel composed and selection process. Whoa, that was kind of long there, huh? I was like, okay, I do need a motion to accept the consent calendar.
Motion to accept.
I need a second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ludwig.
Yes.
Councilman Verret.
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Councilman Rowling.
Yes,
Councilman Lewis. Councilman Botsford.
Yes.
thank you. Okay, moving on regular agenda, then we're going to move on right into new business. We have resolution number 2021-18, a resolution of the City of Covington acknowledging receipts in compliance with the Louisiana attestation questionnaire from the Legislative Auditor's Office. And I think administration is going to go ahead and talk a little bit about this. I know this is an annual report. It's pretty much of a wrap on the audit for the city, so if you want to go ahead and go into a little bit more detail, we appreciate it.
It's an annual questionnaire that's associated with our audit, which we are trying to wrap up now. And so it's basically just confirming that we can follow the processes and protocols that we need to follow with the legislative auditor, and it requires council resolution.
I see Councilman Barrett's name is on this. Anything you want to add to that?
No, this is a parcel of land that's needed for the Covington Trailhead. I don't think it looks good.
That's what
Oh, I apologize. I apologize. For some reason, my eyes went straight down to the next
Only
one.
Larry could have made an uncomplicated
I
resolution.
know, isn't that the truth? I just want to see if you were kind of aware of what I was talking about. Exactly. My apologies. Right, exactly, that's what I'm saying. My eyes went down to the next one. But look, Mark went right into it. I love it.
Mine's much more interesting.
That's exactly right. I was just prepping you, getting ready. Okay, my apologies. So, anything else you want to add to that?
It's a standard document that we prepare and
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, we're going to open it up to, I guess, anybody from the public that would like to talk on behalf of this? Okay, seeing none, council comments? Seeing none, okay. Motion to accept, please.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Ludwig.
Yes.
Councilman Verret.
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Councilman Rowling.
Yes.
Councilman Lewis. Councilman Botsford.
Yes.
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to Councilman Barrett's. Just to make
This
sure.
is interesting now. Hold on.
Okay, I'm going to read this for you, unless you want to read it.
0.03 acre parcel of land.
Okay, let me read this really quick. Resolution number 2021-19, a resolution of the Covington City Council to increase the lease amount for the parcel leased by the city located at southwest corner of East Lockwood Street and North New Hampshire Street, adjacent to the trailhead. Property description PT square 13 measures 100 by 15 by 104 by 30 in the division of St. John, Covington. Councilman Verret.
Long and short of it, the lessor has requested an increase, and it was from 25 to 500. I don't think that's unreasonable. I don't know if the city administration will have a comment.
This is the property that we use for the trailhead. Basically, we set the rent and their property taxes, and their property taxes went up. So they asked us to cover it, they don't make any money off of it.
Okay. All right, anyone from the public like to talk on behalf of this? Seeing none, any council comments? Seeing none or hearing none, we'll go ahead and I'll ask for a motion to accept.
Motion.
Second.
Second, roll call, please.
Councilman Verret.
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Councilman Rowling.
Yes.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes.
Councilman Botsford.
Yes.
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ludwig.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to comments and reports. District A, Councilman Lewis.
I want to first thank the chief and the police department for his continuous work in the city, and open communication. Thank you for that. Also with the support of the council. Next, I want to remind everybody about MLK Day coming up. We've already started planning a few months back before Wonderful Ida came, but we've managed to start talking again about that. We are open to volunteers. Everybody's welcome. I would love to see the council step in, take a part I'm lost for words, at some part in the event, be involved. You can contact me at plewis@covla.gov or 225-505-3030. Next, on November 7th, 2021, from 6 to 9, the St. Tammany Parish DPEC will be hosting the Kathleen Blanco Gala at the Trinity Banquet and Reception Hall in Slidell. It is open to everyone. Music will be by Cass, John Austin, and Ben Redwine. The former WWL-TV News anchor Sally Ann Roberts will be the welcome speaker. Keynote speaker will be the chair in journalism of LSU will be Robert Mann. And again, that will be on November 7th between 6 and 9. Sponsorships are still available. Tickets and information on that would be listed on Eventbrite under the St. Tammany Parish DPEC, or can be found on their website. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to District B, Councilman Boxford.
All right, I want to echo Councilman Lewis, thanking the chief. Our police department's been doing a fantastic job. I mean, kudos to you guys. I mean, I saw the recent things that you posted, some of the busts that you've made and stuff like that. Is good job, guys. I mean, hats off to you. Thank you. Also, I want to go on to the food bank for their averages for October. That they had 87 households served daily, 98 boxes. The total for October was 1,217 total households. That's 1,375 total boxes. In 2021 year to date, it's 13,768 households served. That's 15,600 boxes of food. It's amazing what they do. November starts their busy donation season. If anybody's interested in doing a food drive, please contact Ginger Kunkel. It's GKUNKLE at northshorefoodbank.org. Also, they'd like me to make everybody aware of their Palace with a Purpose. It's going to happen this year, as we know it didn't happen last year. It's scheduled to take place at the food bank on Friday, November 12th, and visit their website for more information. Please keep them in mind for their Giving Tuesday. And of course, the holidays coming, they can use everything they can get. November most needed items is canned fruit, canned vegetables, canned beans, soup, and cereal. The last thing I want to talk about too is Porch Fest. Porch Fest is Saturday from 2 to 5. It's a free event. Everybody come out. We've got 5 bands on 5 different porches, mix of music, everything from Zydeco to funk to some picking bands and jazz. So there should be something for everyone out there. Once again, it's 2 to 5. It's over here in the old part of Covington. Like I said, free event. That's where Johnson always likes me to remind people. And come on out and have a good time. And it everything that we raise above and beyond goes to the Hope House. So I appreciate everything everybody can do. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to District C, Councilman Roberts.
Absolutely. This one's pretty quick, so again, I want to echo thanking the chief as well. The presence of the CPD being in River Forest just to watch this meeting has been obvious. You pulled my mother-in-law over. Sweet. Good job.
Remember, this is on tape, okay?
It's a great thing. But it is. It's obvious, and I appreciate those guys being out there. Patricia Drive, the closure of 15th Street and Patricia Canal, all that's kind of a congestion right now. Some of the mornings it's been backing up. I saw you had an officer out there doing crossing work. I appreciate that very much. I know we're closing in on finishing that area, so it's just nice to see the progress. So I think District C is doing pretty well. I appreciate everybody for chipping in to make that happen. And November 11th is Veterans Day, so just want to thank all the veterans out there for sure, to make sure we keep that in mind. This is not free for us to be here, so thank them, guys.
Thanks for mentioning that. Thank you, sir. Okay, moving on to District D, Councilwoman Lucklick.
All right, it's so nice to see everyone's smiling faces with no masks on, which brings me to comments from Melissa at St. Tammany Parish Hospital. She said no major things to report, thankfully, to the increase in vaccination population. The inpatient COVID census has been stabilized at a very manageable 7 to 10 patients a day. So she just wants to thank everyone for that, and hopefully that remains low, or ideally even lower than that. Other thing is the Oktoberfest. We didn't get to have our traditional beer fest this year, but we did a quick little beer dinner last week at the Siler Bar and raised $10,000. So for the Boys and Girls Club of Covington specifically. So I'm really excited for that. My husband Nick helped me put that on, and we had a great response from the Metro Louisiana board, came and attended as well, which was really nice. That brings us to over 50,000 the last few years, so we're really proud of that. But anyway, so that's great for our local club. And then finally, I just feel like we'd be remiss to not mention Mr. Tim Landrip of the English Tea Room got hit by a car a couple weeks ago and still remains in extremely critical condition. Things are not progressing, and so I just want to remind everyone to keep him and Jan in your prayers as they continue to navigate these next few difficult days. They did a recent post on their Caring Bridge today, which kind of also brings me to a few days later than that was the Danny Saladino Gallery getting hit, and I think just multiple residents lately calling. I'm so glad the CPD has been doing traffic stops. That's awesome, because even though everyone knows, we all know as a council from a budgetary standpoint that Boston is technically DOTD highway, it's still our town, so we have to just make sure that we are conscious of that. And I think we're beyond the cute slow your roll slogans at this point. It's sort of like more of a plea and a beg from us as lovers of our community and our members to protect them, and a mother whose kids play in the yard and stuff, because I know I've had multiple neighbors just this past week. I think everyone's a little hypersensitive right now with those 2 horrible accidents on Boston, and I've had a lot of constituents complaining about speeding and stuff. So please continue to pull people over and hold people accountable. And that's it as far as District D goes. And I think our events are rounding out. I know Coffee with the Mayor is Thursday at 9 a.m. Three Rivers Art Fest. Is that happening right? It's coming up. Yeah, I think it's always mid-November next weekend. Yeah. Gosh. Anyway, I don't have the events in front of me because I had all that other stuff I wanted to say. So, but thankfully we had a very productive and eventful October with the concerts were wonderful. Glad that that's back. And yeah, moving on to the holiday season. I can't believe 2021 is almost over. So that's it. Thanks.
Thank you, and appreciate you mentioning about Tim too. Moving on to District E, Councilman Brett.
I just wanted to report that I had a very nice meeting with the debris contractor yesterday, and we went over the plan and where we are, and I was satisfied tremendously with the response that was given, and I think that the city's looking pretty good. We have some areas to focus on with the waste, and I'm sure the mayor's gonna make some comments about that, maybe not. But, you like the way we do that? We kind of toss something, like, might mention it, might not. But, no, it was a very good meeting, and I thought it was straightforward, and I thought it was needed. And I was going to mention Tim to definitely, keep him in his prayers, him and his family. Beyond that, I just keep seeing Chris Davis over there. I think you're going to have to come to these meetings just to see if, things are okay without you.
I can't stay home, I'll be here.
Good. That's all I have. Thank you again, Chris.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to at-large member Smith.
All right, thank you. Just to remind everybody, this Sunday, November 7th, a lot of fun, the gala, the men who cook. We're gonna do it on top of the parking lot on Jefferson, at the Justice Center garage. You can get your tickets online. Yeah, I'm cooking. Yeah, I'm cooking with the Silo restaurant. But it's gonna be a lot of fun, and it's a great, great cause. We don't have to talk about how important it is to fight that battle against children being abused. But anyhow, that's a good time. Chief, he's back there, Chief Farrell's back there. He's raised more money than I have so far. So anybody wants to go online and drop $50 or something, you know, somebody's up for that. Anyhow, it's gonna be a good time. But getting back, I'm gonna since echo seems to be the word, I'm gonna echo what Cody was just talking about. My phone blew up with the accidents on Boston Street. I called Chief Blocker, because I know the fire department pretty much shows up at every accident scene. And, you know, I said, is it something we need to do with the speed limit or what? You know, again, it's a state highway. He said, Rick, I really don't think it's related to speed, you know? It's people just not paying attention to what they're doing. They're texting, they're on the phone, they're doing all these kind of things. I saw that video from the Southern Hotel with that 18-wheeler crash. That's just mind-boggling to me, you know? So maybe the guy had a health issue and passed out or had a heart attack. I don't know what happened to them. But I was going to ask administration, Mayor Mark and Erin, maybe we should consider petitioning the DOTD one more time, because I know we did it about 10 years ago and was denied. One was a traffic signal at Vermont in Boston, okay? That's a horrible, horrible intersection, in my opinion. And I think of the 4 wrecks that they had in the last month, I think 2 of them were at that intersection. And that 18-wheeler, as a matter of fact, went through that spot too. But worst they can tell us is, no, we won't do it. And I forgot what the excuse was. I think there were so many signal lights they could put within a certain distance or something like that. But, you know, we're talking about if you can slow down and get people to wake up, give them a chance to finish their text before, you know, then they can drive. You know, just kind of an awareness thing. I would like for us to petition the state again, the DOTD, and say, man, at least come study this. We've had numerous complaints about safety issues on Boston Street. So if y'all would do that, I'd appreciate it. I think that's all my comments. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Lewis, you have something to add really quick?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Larry. I forgot one that I need to mention real quick. Post number 16, the American Legion will be hosting the Veterans Day program on November 11th. Starting at from 10 to 11, there'll be food, drinks, music to follow. And they're welcoming home all of our GWOT and Afghan, Iraq veterans. So again, November 11th, starting at 10 a.m.
Appreciate that, sir. Okay, I have a couple of things tonight. I know Cody mentioned about Three Rivers. It is on the 13th and 14th. Is that, I hope I got that right. You see, the 11th is a Thursday, 13th and 14th. Three Rivers is on the 13th and 14th.
Okay, cool, thank you.
And that's going to bring a lot of people to the city. Hopefully, we can have great weather this weekend. Hopefully, we'll have it the following weekend, because we're going to have a lot of people in town that are going to want to be out and about. So just to clarify that is following weekend. Also, like Councilman Barrett mentioned, the city is looking good. I know the administration's been working very hard. The council's been working very hard. The department heads have been working very hard in the city, and it is showing. So we thank everybody for that. Tomorrow night, the CBA meeting will be at Siler Bar right next to the top room at 5:30. It really starts at 6 o'clock, but you can arrive at 5:30. So if anybody's interested in that. Also, with the holidays right around the corner, please think about supporting your local businesses here. I know they've had a rough couple of years. Things are opening up a little bit, so just kind of keep that in mind. We have some new shops in the area. So again, try to do some of your shopping locally here in the city limits. Carnival in Covington, just a little bit of update on that. We're going to have a presentation tomorrow night at the CBA meeting. Our committee is going to be there talking about Carnival in Covington, Everything is looking great for Carnival 2022, which is March 1st. So we're really excited. The committee is working very hard at that. If you are looking to get involved, you can go to our website, carnivalandcovington.com. You can be a participant, you can ride a float, you can be a marching group, or just support us as a sponsorship. There's some sponsorship opportunities out there. So that being said, that's all I have for tonight. I'm going to turn it over to Mayor Mark.
Thank you, Council President Rowling. This Thursday evening on the Cultural Arts and Events side, on-stage performances is back at the Furman Auditorium, and one of Covington's favorite performance groups, the New Orleans Mystics, will be performing on the stage. We had them at Peter Atkins Park sometime last year. These guys have been doing Motown since 1972 together. So they've been doing Motown when Motown was Motown. And they've got the matching suits and the moves and the sounds to go with it. So that's a $20 ticket you can get with Amy Fauché or purchase it online, and it's truly an enjoyable performance. Councilman Verrett, regarding the storm debris removal, as those who saw my e-blast earlier this week, I have directed the contractor to postpone the beginning of the third and final pass from this past Monday to next Monday. That was important because we had so many residents. There's no way they're going to be able to get everything out of their yard street side. But at least by doing this postponement for 1 week, it's going to give them an opportunity to get more debris to curbside. Our monitoring company will continue to confirm that all available debris is picked up. White goods has really not started except for what we've been doing in-house with Public Works. The Public Works Department has been going out and picking them up and storing them so that the debris removal company can do that. Hazardous stumps that are on city property are determined to be hazardous by FEMA, and these are cataloged and then submitted for removal. So you're not going to see those stumps disappearing until we're going to be moving at the speed of government, and that's not a good speed. And then the huge root balls that are on the side of the road, that actually requires a different type of piece of equipment, and it's measured, and the metric for it is different than just the pure volume. So you're going to see those disappear, but that's going to be last. As always, and you mentioned piles of debris here or there, with any concern, I reiterate to the residents, if you think you've got a debris pile that's being overlooked, if you think you've got a ditch blocked, whatever your concern is, always email me. Just email mayormark@covla.com. You email me, I review it, I add my comments to it, I delegate it to someone, I pin in that email, and staff knows I come back 7 to 10 days later and I say, where are we at on this? So that's this. If you stop me on the golf cart, or if you stop and leave me a note at the office, it's just not as effective as emailing me. So please do that. Regarding DOTD, each of the incident reports from the police department have been compiled and either have been given to DOTD or in the process of being given to DOTD if those reports are completed. So we're putting that at the top of their list, and we have unfortunately, when you read those reports, what comes out of them is each one was driver error. It's not like a different sign or a different traffic signal or don't drive on the sidewalk sign would have helped. It's driver error, and I'm afraid that's what DOTD is going to come back to us. The administration met with DOTD yesterday in Hammond, and we also had a meeting again with them today. Was there anything from one of those meetings you'd like to share?
So the meeting yesterday, we talked about the roundabout at Jefferson and Boston, which we met with them this morning about that. Yeah, we discovered the accidents on Boston Street, and we talked about pedestrian improvements at 21st and Tyler that we'd like to move forward.
So what we tentatively have planned is for, when I campaigned for mayor, I suggested that we have a liaison between the city of Covington and DOTD because so much of what happens to us involves DOTD, and that led to us having that liaison, which has really, really been helpful.
And Collins Boulevard, that's all.
and Collins Boulevard. And so tentatively, I'm looking to have the liaison address the council at the December meeting, so we can just have a full update on DOTD instead of a hit and miss kind of thing. Two really nice pieces of news from our fire department. We, the city of Covington, in the hurricane recovery, focused on the city of Covington. We tried not to be a hindrance to those areas that needed more resources, but we were not in a really good position for us to provide resources to help them. But that has changed, and the Covington Fire Department, Operator Trevor Betts, and I think they're rotating some others through, is that right, Chief? Rotating some others through, are actually being deployed with the St. Tammany Parish Emergency Response Team to Grand Isle. So Chief Blocker drove Trevor down there, and they've been rotating out, serving as the fire, working with other volunteers, other firemen from St. Tammany to provide them with support and water support and suppression. So Grand Isle is still without power and without water. So I think that's something we as a community can feel good about, that we are reaching out and trying to help those in need. The next one, we are very happy to announce that effective October 1st, 2021, the public protection classification of the City of Covington's Fire Department has improved the Property Insurance Association of Louisiana's to a Class 2. We were rated as a Class 3. Moving up to a Class 2 is a big step, and really for a city of our size, that's just about the best that you can attain. So Chief, all of us are very proud of the department, and on behalf of the city of Covington, I would like to congratulate, this could very well translate to lower insurance premiums for many of our residents. Not guaranteed, but once this rating is in effect, which it is now, you can bring that to your insurance company's attention and might get a reduction in rate. Chief Blocker set this out as a goal early on, and he, with the support of the council, the administration, and his department, set it out as a goal, and they worked for it, and they achieved it, and I think congratulations is needed for Chief Blocker. Next, I'd like to say that we have quite a bit going on with our capital projects and our engineering. And to address that, I would like to call on our city engineer, Callie Baker, and have her share with you what we've been up to in the engineering department.
Good evening. Mayor has asked me to provide you with an update on what I have accomplished in the past month and what I'm projected to do in the next month. And to get right into it, the past month has been centered on compiling and submitting over $10 million worth of work for grant funding for addressing failing utility infrastructure in downtown, River Forest, and Ozone, as well as repaving portions of downtown, similar to what was accomplished on Boston earlier this year. In addition to putting together grant applications, which take a considerable amount of time to develop, because it requires a thorough analysis of the available data in order to create a cost estimate within a reasonable magnitude and scope to encompass the entirety of the project. I have also kicked off 7 projects, including River Forest sewer repairs, the engineering portion, Harrison Street drainage, also the engineering portion, 16th Avenue water well building rehabilitation, downtown drainage engineering, Rutland drainage clean and inspect, Boston concrete striping, which is already completed, Mantry sewer extension, which is also already completed, taken quotes and begun procurement on 4 more projects, including downtown asphalt patching, concrete pinhole replacements, which will address concrete pinhole replacements within Oak Alley subdivision, the Savannas and River Forest, as Ned divulged it. Beth waterline replacement, also in River Forest, to replace a dilapidated water line that has continuous leaks. Downtown and North Columbia striping. Prepared 4 more project packages for quote, which includes the AMI water meter installations, downtown sidewalk rehabilitation, Nose Park traffic replacement, and Boston additional striping. Wrapped up 3 projects: the Mandatory Sewer Extension, the Bugfly Park ADA improvement, which had grant submittals that had to be finalized to close it out. Boston concrete striping. Provided engineering and project management support on 6 projects designed and managed by a third-party consultant, including Patricia Drive paving and drainage, wastewater treatment plant improvements Phase 3, wastewater treatment plant generator replacement, Patricia Ditch grading and cleaning, Collins Bridge widening utility relocates, US 190 lift station force main. Reviewed 5 sets of plans, including Waterline Drive paving and drainage, US 190 lift station force main, Columbia Street bridge replacement, guardrail replacement at 11th Avenue, and downtown sewer repairs. Conducted site visits in addition to the rounds to address specific issues over 3 sites, 4 projects, on 12 separate occasions. These were to address asphalt issues on South Vermont Roadway Extension, which is a private project being done within city right-of-way, not a capital project. A walkthrough at the wastewater treatment plant for Phase 3 that turned into discussing the ongoing generator replacement project, the generator hookup pre-construction meeting at the wastewater treatment plant, site visits to address issues with the contract regarding the wastewater treatment plant generator, and site visits to address RFIs, delays, and issues on the Patricia Drive paving and drainage project. All of this was in conjunction with addressing several issues in coordination with Public Works, sitting in on an average of 2 meetings per day, ranging from 1 hour to 3 hours, reviewing permits, submitting DOTD permits, providing engineering support on submitting a core permit, which we actually previously hired a consultant to complete. The Corps had questions, and the consultant wanted more money to address their questions, so it became simpler to handle it in-house. Assisting with end-of-year closeout, addressing resident concerns and complaints, processing invoices, reviewing and negotiating change orders, writing and negotiating contracts, reviewing engineering studies and evaluation findings, and tracking and reporting on capital projects. And now looking ahead for this month, the key focus is on getting any remaining projects out before the end of the year. In particular, 5 in-house projects which are projected to be let this month, which is Taylor Street Emergency Asphalt Rehab, which we actually received quotes on this morning, Nose Park Track, which is due this Thursday, Downtown Sidewalks, which was originally slated to be due next Thursday, and then it was pointed out that that's Veterans Day. After a mandatory site visit from all contractors to go over the nuances of each site, Boston additional striping, which is pending a DOTD permit revision, AMI water meter installations. 3 projects with third-party engineering are projected to be let or advertised this month, which includes the wastewater treatment plant Phase 4 effluent pump replacement, 2020 guardrail replacement on 11th Avenue, and US 190 lift station force main. 5 in-house projects are projected to be kicked off this month, including Taylor Street Emergency Asphalt Rehab, downtown asphalt patching, concrete panel replacements, Beth water line replacement, and downtown North Columbia striping. 9 projects are expected to need some amount of in-house oversight, including Taylor Street Emergency Asphalt Rehab, Patricia Drive paving and drainage, wastewater treatment plant Phase 3, wastewater treatment plant generator replacement, downtown asphalt patching, concrete panel replacements, Beth water line replacement, downtown North Columbia striping, Ager Lane emergency drain repair. 5 projects are expected to need some amount of in-house inspection, including Taylor Street Emergency Asphalt Rehab, Patricia Drive paving and drainage, downtown asphalt patching, concrete replacements, and Beth water line replacement. And I'd like to point out that there's a slight difference between in-house oversight and in-house inspection. In-house inspection involves being on site and monitoring the contractor's progress and making sure they're following the plans and specifications. Project oversight is the overall project management of it, making sure it stays on budget, on schedule, and everything goes as smoothly as it possibly can. And these are all in addition to reviewing plan sets, providing engineering support in all projects regardless of if third-party engineering is involved or not, handling the administrative workload for every project, working in conjunction with Public Works on any utility, drainage, roadway, or traffic issues that arise, addressing permits, providing engineering support to all other city departments, addressing resident issues and concerns, reviewing permits, keeping as many parties informed on all of the moving parts of capital projects as I possibly can, submitting permits, tracking and managing all active capital projects, and now also posting for and accepting the responsibilities of engineering inspector in addition to my other duties as a city engineer. And that about wraps it up. If anyone would like a copy of this information.
Calling Rod to nag him to review your contract.
Callie, we appreciate that very much. You have to be exhausted.
Sorry. If anyone would like a copy of this information, I have a few copies with me.
We appreciate it very much. Does anybody have any comments?
Yeah, can you repeat page 4? No, Kelly, thank you. And I know you're crazy busy, so thank you for everything that you're doing. Because you do. You're the heartbeat of what's going on right now, so thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Mayor, do you have anything else? Okay. Anything else from administration? All right.
I have
a couple of things. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, I've been in your meeting with DOTD for Collins Boulevard. What came out of that meeting? Just out of curiosity.
We discussed the fact that it's time for us to start trying to get funding in line for the next phase to widen Collins from Lee Road to the intersection of 190 and 25. Okay. We talked about the fact that the data is probably outdated and that the traffic counts continue to increase. And so that's something that we need to look at. I mean, Allison Schilling, who was at the time, the study was done, the district administrator, and is now our consultant, was able to attest to the fact that when she was the district administrator, that was one of her biggest priorities, and it still was. And so the state has limited funding, and so we need to get creative with funding.
So the talk about the roundabouts and all that stuff wasn't even part of that. It was more of just the widening portion.
Yeah, there are roundabouts in the next phase, which is to be.
And sort of as a summary term, we just use the term phase 2B, which phase 2A is a roundabout at Louisiana 25 and 190. And phase 2B is the roundabouts from, phase 2B is the roundabouts from Lee Road all the way to that one. So that's the next section. If you put in a new bridge, but that section still remains one lane in each direction, you really haven't accomplished that much.
Right.
And then when you add the fact that the plans call for some really nice pedestrian crossways there, which for our purposes would help connect the ozone to the rest of the community, that's a good thing. So that's kind of been our impetus is phase 2B to get that rolling. It was very gratifying to see in an article recently that the Secretary of the Department of Transportation, Sean Wilson, quoted our administration on the fact that US 190, Louisiana 25, and 437 Lee Road all merged, 3 state highways merged into one lane, all within about a mile of each other. And to know that we were on his radar and he got that is a step in the right direction.
Okay, thank you.
I just have one question for the mayor. And I know this all preliminary, so when you say crossways for pedestrians to connect Ozone to Covington, are we talking about above ground?
The preliminary plans, not our plans, DOTD plans, emphasize pathways to each side of Collins Boulevard. So that, as of right now, one could be living in your district and there could be a job at Tractor Supply. How do you get there? That's always, transportation is always one of our biggest concerns. And there is no pedestrian or bicycle pathway anywhere along Collins. Their preliminary plans call for pedestrian-friendly pathways on both sides of Collins, and then the ability to cross, I think, at the traffic circles. So we're actually giving our residents access to all those businesses along Collins Boulevard, both to shop at, but also to work at. We're not getting it.
Okay, thank you.
We're asking DOTD to get to do it, yeah.
Okay. Anything else from council? things real quick. A reminder of some upcoming meetings. The 2022 budget work sessions are slated for November 16th and the 17th at 5 p.m. Both will be held in these chambers. Also, the December City Council meeting will be held on Tuesday, December 14th at 6 p.m. in these chambers. And pretty much, I think that's all the reminders. Have a great and safe Thanksgiving, and everybody just have a great time with their family. This meeting is adjourned.